Danny Yarborough is a teacher, missionary, and cosmopolitan. Danny describes her life growing up in a middle-class home in Charlotte, North Carolina. She says, "I went to public schools, Charlotte-Mecklenburg, that are very well known and continue to strive academically. The schools were relatively middle-upper class. I grew up around all peers having money, nice cars, huge homes. I was an average student who usually was recognized academically with A or AB honor roll. I was involved in school and travel volleyball, which I got most of my experiences that stick with me." I asked Danny, "What made you become a teacher?" She said, "My grandmother was a teacher for 40 years. Her passion was always intriguing to me. I knew that whatever I did, the desires in my heart were to help people, especially children. Growing up, I feel I was intuitive and saw that a lot of children do not enjoy education. There is an element of control that kept the classroom mediocre. I knew that with God behind me, I could get into an environment and create a mission field where it was least expected. I love the opportunity to teach children and fill the minds that were created to be filled." Danny works as a first grade teacher at a Title I school with a diverse population. I asked her, "How do you handle differences among students in your classroom?" She said, "Differences in a classroom can make or break us. I am so grateful that I have experienced other cultures. One, it puts you in an environment where you are the different one, and you discover what it is like to be different. Two, it teaches me how important culture is to a single person. I always embrace differences. I 100% believe my ability to embrace what makes each student different contributes to my success as a teacher. Whether it shows academically or not, I know my students are growing." Recently, Danny traveled to Swaziland on a mission trip with the church. I asked her what made her want to travel to Africa. She said, "Culture is an overlooked simplicity. We can learn so much about one another and the people we are in contact with daily by experiencing other cultures. I have a free spirit, and I do not want the world to limit me to anything. I am confident that when I put my mind to something, God will get me there if it is His will. I know that we are all created different, and it is amazing to me to see the support of people who would never go, but want to support you financially in going. I know there is diversity in our own backyards, but there is a world out there. I wanted to see a third world country, see what poverty looks like outside of America, see how a community can have so little but be so blessed. I knew it was something only I could experience firsthand." I asked Danny, what were the differences in the African culture from your own culture, and how did you address or handle those differences while you were there? She said there were many differences in the African culture. When women greet one another, they grab your breasts. To me, it is an alarming account of sexual harassment. It is selfish to automatically think of it as wrong. It is actually a huge sign of honor and respect if a village woman grabs you. Immersion is important. Accepting different cultures and their differences and embracing them is the only way to handle it and be okay with it. The children are very infatuated with Caucasian women. They want to touch you all over and stick just about everything you have in their mouths. In that situation, you had to realize they were children and allow their curiosity. Handshakes are different. When you hand someone currency, your left hand cups your right hand as a sign of respect. Danny shared many differences in the African culture, and so I was curious to see if she learned anything from their culture. She shared, "The most life-changing lesson I learned from the African culture was the spirit of joy. The only thing guaranteeing them food, water, shelter, and clothes each day was Jesus. Knowing that their only hope was in Him, all circumstances created joy. Every conversation, whether you spoke the language or not, was meaningful. There was no technology to distract conversation. Conversation was the only communication." Danny will also travel to Costa Rica in July to study their education systems and immerse herself in the culture by staying with a host family. I asked her, "What do you expect to learn from your experience in Costa Rica?" She said, "We are selfish to think that America has the best education. There are so many ideas out there globally that are successful to all different learning types. In Costa Rica, one thing that I am most looking forward to seeing is the Hispanic community and how they educate. Our school is primarily Spanish speaking, and I do not know that we really know the best way to teach our population. I know there will be no magic answer, but I do know that there are ideas that can grow us as educators. Danny shows that not only does she understand differences within the four walls of her first grade classroom, but also that she embraces differences in people around the world. She immerses herself in cultures unlike her own and learns the traditions. Although it may be out of her comfort zone, she knows that she strives to build an understanding of the culture. Danny is a teacher, missionary, and cosmopolitan.